Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. All right, y'all. So we'll start the reading with the energy that I see coming out as yours. I'm seeing that you are about to start on a new beginning. Now, in order for you to get to this new beginning, it took a certain amount of courage. The reason why you needed so much courage in order to start this new venture is for a period of time you may have been bullied. But the type of bullying that I'm seeing, it is from like a hater. This could have been somebody older. I'm really getting that this is somebody that has been in your life for a long period of time. I'm not getting a relationship at all. I'm getting somebody that maybe you've spent time with, you shared energy with. It could be a parent, it could be a family member, but this is more like a friend, a peer, a loved one, not necessarily anything intimate. So you use white magic. White magic is essentially when you use your own energy to change your life, okay? Dark magic or black magic is where you almost project and there's a certain outcome that you want, but you use and manipulate the energy of others in order to achieve it, okay? So you're coming out as somebody who is a sweetheart. You use white magic and you are about to experience a new beginning. Now, you could have been very reluctant in understanding your own power or the amount of power that you hold. And I'm seeing here that you had to overcome some type of emotional blockages when we're talking about your sacral chakra. So tell me if this relates. We have the energy of a pattern of perfectionism, right? Thinking like, I can't do it unless it's perfect, or it's got to be this way, and perfection, something being perfect is kind of like a myth, like there's nothing that's not necessarily flawed, like we're beautifully flawed, right? And so this says that for a period of time, it may have been hard for you to take risks. It may have been hard for you to understand that your energy is enough to get from point A to point B. Maybe you felt like, oh, well, I can't get to point B unless I have enough money, or I can't get to point B unless I have a car, or I gotta, sometimes we have a tendency to think that we can't get to our dream reality. A dream is really just a reality that you would like to live in, but it's almost like, if only I had this, I could go there. Somebody would rather you have stayed in that mindset. I can't have this new life until I have these things in place. But it's almost like you were groomed to think and feel that way, because obviously that's not how you manifest. Like first you have to literally be the thing that you are wanting. And then when you be it, then all of a sudden you have it. When you have it, then you can kind of bring in more. So it's almost like backwards manifesting was the goal. So anytime you were bullied, maybe by this person or just from scenarios that this person orchestrated in your life, the point was for you to never use your own power. You weren't even supposed to know you had the power to do this. So you're coming out as a sweetheart, somebody who's just unconditionally loving and nurturing and just tender. Like you don't use your power to abuse or suppress others. You were bullied, and it's almost like they wanted you to, another aspect of the bullying, this is emotional bullying because it's coming out as impacting your sacral. Another aspect of the bullying is because it wanted you to think in pattern of extremes, all or nothing, right? I guess I'll have nothing because I don't have all that I need, that type of energy. And so you are having this new beginning because you finally found the courage. In order to get from point A to point B, the only thing that separates you is courage. It's no material. It's nothing tangible. Now, I'm not talking about literally, but like, you know what I mean? Like, energetically, in order to get from one space to the next, it is the courage, it is the power within you that you use in order to muster up the energy to kind of go forth and propel yourself forward. It's almost like somebody wanted you to never have courage, because if you recognize you have courage, then you would also understand that the power that you possess has the potential to give you any reality that you could possibly think, dream, manifest, or desire. So the bullying that you endured by this person who's coming out in the energy of the Queen of Pentacles, this was methodical. This bullying was well planned. It was well thought out. Now, I also have the energy of past life. So let's say in your past life, you had acquired or you held a certain position that was attached to ancient wisdom, right? And so listen, your soul is carrying all of your knowledge and wisdom from all of the lifetimes that you've lived. And so that's what I mean. Not only is this person a hater, but this is like a hater that you have experienced or had a close connection with in past lives. And so now you are in a lifetime again with them, which is why I don't think that this is an intimate relationship. I think that this is someone that you have spent a while with. Fucking gnats. This is somebody, but they're coming out as veiled. Haters never think we know who they are, but we always know who you are, okay? They're coming out as a veiled hater. This is somebody who is at peace, but they are only at peace as long as they are doing better than you. This is somebody who says that they want you to do well, but they just don't want you to do more than them. They don't want you to have more. They don't want you to go further. They don't want you to excel, right? And so sometimes the bullying is really to protect their ego, because if they bully you and if they keep you small, then you won't try. And if you won't try, they'll never have to feel small. They'll never have to feel less than, right? And so this is a bullying that protects their own ego, which is crazy work, but this is what the reading is saying. So at some point you tap into your white magic. You recognize that your energy has the potential to take you places, to experience things. But the fact that you're using white magic is attached to some type of ancient wisdom. So you learn this ancient wisdom, you pick up the courage because you're like, oh my God, I don't need anything. I am actually enough. So now you have the courage. Now you're in the process of changing your life. This person, all of a sudden, when they recognize that you start to develop a level of peace and comfort in your life. So think about you, listen, to be a perfectionist is kind of uncomfortable because your job is never done. Nothing is ever good enough. You can never stop, like think about that kind of energy. Like it's kind of uncomfortable to live in that because you never get to a place of rest and stability. It's like you can never just settle and be proud of what you've done. It'll never be good enough. And that is kind of a sick thought to carry, because you will never be able to go any further because you keep going back to kind of redo something that was really already as good as it's going to get. But it's a mind thing. Nonetheless, I have a card here. It says peace kills jealousy, but also jealousy kills peace. So in the event that there was somebody that was jealous of the fact that you acquired some type of ancient wisdom, you learned how to use your power, you figured out your courage, now you got this new beginning. This is somebody who is jealous, and they're only jealous because you are at a place of peace. Now they are not able to really access a place of peace because they are trapped in this mindset of perfectionism, which has nothing to do with you, but it's almost like you have arrived at a place that they'll never get to. They won't get there because of how they use their mind, not because of what you've done with your own power, but they can't understand that though. So in order for them to no longer feel jealous, you remember I talked about the bullying. The bullying that is done by this person is to protect them, right? If you have more, if you're doing more, if you're capable of more, I am jealous because I feel less than. I don't have enough. I feel small. So in order to protect me from feeling bad about my own situation, I am going to, this reading says libation, which this is a form of spell work. So this is somebody that essentially, I literally have death and libation. The death is coming out on top of your ancient wisdom. So this is somebody who is protesting your ancient wisdom. They don't want you to know things. They don't want you to grow. They don't want you to move beyond a certain location, because it's almost like as long as you are stuck in one place, they feel good about themselves. When you start to wander, you start to grow, they can't handle that reflection. They can't take it. And so this is somebody that essentially uses some type of death magic because they are carrying the seed of jealousy, the seed of envy, right? But the real problem is that they don't have peace and you have it. They don't have peace and you have it. And again, they're coming out as veiled. So veiled meaning they have been hiding the fact that they want to see you do good, just not better than them, right? But you're always going to go further because you possess courage. Courage is like, even if I don't do it well, at least I try. Some people don't have courage because they're so afraid that they're going to get it wrong. They're so afraid that it will be flawed, but everything is flawed. So why not just have courage and do it? This is like, it's like something's wrong. Like there's something not really connecting for them, which is why they would go as far as using death magic to stop you from growing, because they couldn't figure out how to grow themselves. Okay, fine. So anyway, this is coming out as a Queen of Pentacles. So this is somebody who really puts a lot of stock in the physical world, just the aesthetics of human, the aesthetics of being a human and whatever. They put a lot of stock in that. Either they are a part of a network, they are part of a friendship or a group that has been protesting you. And the reason why they've been protesting you, beyond the fact that you've gotten to this ancient wisdom, you got this new beginning, you applied courage, they're also protesting you because you may have walked away from them. I have the next card after not wanting to see you do better than them. It says, if someone's absent brings you peace, you didn't lose anything. And so this is what I'm saying. This is like a hater who thought that they were veiled, right? So in the process of you developing ancient wisdom, you're going after this new beginning. You have courage, you're acquiring peace, but at the same time, you're recognizing who your supporters are. Some people are all for it. Some people don't want to see you grow. Some people don't want to see you expand. And so if you're growing, why would you keep a tribe of people around you that don't appreciate, can't value, they don't want to clap, they don't want to celebrate? Like, why would you keep them in your corner? And so at some point you may have broken a barrier, like you may have just left this person behind because you recognize, like, when you're in my energy, I don't have peace. I don't have peace when I'm around you because I can feel your hate. I can feel your disdain. I can feel your disgust, right? And so if I acquire peace, listen, peace is the most sacred thing you can ever have. It's costly, but it is worth every expense. That's an African proverb, and it's in one of my other decks. Peace is costly, but it is worth every expense. If I have to break off the connection with you in order to have peace, I will do it. If I have to leave this job, this relationship, if I have to break this pattern of behavior, if I have to do anything in order to protect my peace, I will do it. And so this is somebody that you recognize, losing you affords me peace. But as long as I keep you, I'm losing my peace, right? And I can't go buy peace at Walmart or Target or Publix. Like, I can't go buy it. So when I have it, it's because I've worked for it. It's because I've earned it. And so I must protect it. So this person almost thought that they were hiding the fact that they were a hater, or that they were somebody who wanted you to be a lesser version of self. Now, again, I got the energy of past life. And so you all, whether you know it or not, you could have had lifetimes with this person. And the way it played out last lifetime, this is a continuation. It's just like, all right, I'm going to meet you, I'll meet you in the next lifetime, and we're going to continue this story. This is a continuation of the story, but you are advancing beyond a certain point. Somebody doesn't like it. I have the energy of death, protesting, and literally using some type of libation, which could be a prayer, a spiritual ritual, some type of magic, but it is all coming after your peace, right? And they're jealous that you have it, but you didn't buy it. But this is somebody who puts all of their attention and time into the physical world. They only think that life is about what you can acquire, but you can't buy peace, right? Fine. This person is going through some type of grief. They're going through some type of loss. They're coming out in the energy of the Five of Cups. This was a karmic connection. Now, not only was this person, this person is a soulmate of yours. Clearly, if your souls have been together in other lifetimes, you came back here to do it again. But sometimes you need haters around you. You need them because you are reminded of peace and what is not peace, right? And so sometimes they bring you the motivation you need. And if they're not hating on you, then you must not be doing anything that's worth a damn. So sometimes you need people to hate on you so you know you're actually doing a good damn job at something. It is almost like this person, but it also had friendship. This person who is a hater, jealous, is a part of a group, and this group collectively works to bind you to some type of karmic connection. So not only are they a karmic connection, but they wanted to bind you to a karmic connection because obviously you would have lost your peace, you would have lost your momentum, you would have lost your courage. So it's almost like, because I'm so jealous of you, I am going to orchestrate a plot. The plot that I orchestrate is going to get you to become a lesser version of yourself. If you are a lesser version of yourself, I feel at peace in my life, right? But when you are your greatest form, there's no way I can be at peace because my jealousy is too loud. I got to keep clarifying because I sat with this for a minute and I'm like, is this what I'm like? But this is somebody who likes to indulge. This is somebody who likes to have things, who likes to show you what they have, who likes to, it's that kind of energy. You are not coming up as that person. You're coming up as somebody who's just trying to have a new beginning. And the way you get your new beginning, it says by white magic. I'm going to use all of me in order to get the version of life that I most desire. I'm just going to use me. I'm not going to manipulate anybody else or anything in order to feel good about me. I'll just use me. The end of the reading, it seems like this entire strategy, it was about wealth, which makes sense if this is somebody who's overly invested in the material world. It says sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together. Now, there is some type of ending, and I don't think this is not an ending that you experience. This is somebody who wanted to cause you an ending because they didn't like your new beginning, but they're recognizing that the plan that they put together behind the scenes, it is all fallen apart. Now, do they recognize that it was always a bad plan? Something else was supposed to fall together? I don't know. So I got to keep clarifying. I didn't want to pull too many cards without you, but all right. So the first card I'm going to clarify is the fact that this is somebody that could have bullied you. They could have bullied you for using white magic. They could have bullied you literally for thinking that you were enough. We'll see. So the card I'm going to clarify talks about the fact that the emotions that we deal with in our sacral chakra can cause us mental issues. So patterns of perfectionism, mental issue. Thinking in extremes and absolutes. It's either black or white, nothing in between. Mental issue. Not me, per the card, per the sacral chakra. Okay, so I actually think that this is describing your bully. Those would be the attributes of your bully, right? But obviously, if this is somebody that doesn't have courage because they're so afraid they're going to fuck something up. They're so afraid they're going to mess it up. So coming out on top of patterns of perfectionism, we says it's about to backfire. Plans fail. See? Okay, so it's about to backfire. It's about to backfire. Plans failed. Backlash, counteraction, and karma. So the bullying that was done in order to keep you from having enough courage, right? Nobody wanted you to go after your new beginning, so they bully the hell out of you so that you're not courageous enough to try. Well, you tried anyway. Okay, but whatever they did in the dark, it didn't work. So all of that energy has to come back because it didn't stick to you. The next card I clarify is going to come out on top of peace kills jealousy. Peace kills jealousy, but also jealousy kills peace. Right? And so if this person wasn't so jealous, maybe they could have peace. Like, you know, some people don't recognize that they are the cause of their own pain. But if they project, it's like anytime they're opposite somebody and they feel a certain kind of way, they're going to blame you for the way they feel. This is somebody who lacks accountability, somebody who's not in control of their own emotions. They're not even in control of their mind. They literally have given all of their emotional power and all of their mind power away to the world. And anytime I feel some kind of way, I'm going to punish whoever it is I'm standing next to that has made me feel this way. Like, that's the energy. All right, so peace kills jealousy is the card I'm about to clarify. And they're jealous of your ancient wisdom. But again, this is somebody from a past life. Look, your past life could have been chapter 4. Now this lifetime, y'all are in chapter 5. And the same way that person was in your last lifetime is the same person they are now. Okay, I had 2 cards flip. So you are coming out as somebody that has divine energy. You're a divine being. And so you're intuitive, you're magic, you know. Somebody could be jealous of the fact that and that's what I'm saying about your ancient wisdom. Somebody wanted to bring death to your divinity. Like, how can you even do that? You know what I was thinking? You know how, this is what I understand about black magic, or like people who do this thing. You know, I remember me and my boys ordered like a lift. And we were getting and a Tesla came, and I don't think we had ever been in a Tesla before. I didn't even know how to open the damn door. I did not. I was like, how the fuck? I didn't even know how to open the door. I was like, where's the handle? I feel like when I touched the handle, the window went down. I don't know if y'all have Teslas. Y'all know if I'm whatever. But I didn't even know how to open the door. But this is what I was thinking to myself literally a couple days ago. A lot of times people don't even understand how your divinity works. Right? They don't understand the divine being that you are. If they're sitting around here in jealousy and attacking you with death magic so that you stop growing and you lack courage and they're bullying you, like, they don't even know how your divinity works. But then they got the nerve to try to stop it, right? This is like you being a Tesla. This person has rode a bike their whole life, but they swear they're going to stop that Tesla from driving. But when you get up to the Tesla, you don't even know how to open the door, right? You don't even know how to start the car. How are you going to know how to turn the car off? Like, that's what gives me the energy of like black magic. A lot of people that do it are already in a low vibration. You're low already. You would have to have already have been high enough to understand how I operate at this level in order to stop me. Like, you couldn't even start me. How are you going to stop me, right? If you can't start the Tesla, how you going to turn the Tesla off? That's what I feel. Like, divine beings, y'all would be Teslas, and you got all these bike riders that want to essentially turn you off. But they've never ridden in that type of energy before. They never operated in that vibration. So how the hell can you stop it? Anyway, you're coming out as like this mystical cat. You have the ability to ward off evil. You can sense evil. And so you are essentially what they've been throwing death magic at, right? They don't know how you work. They don't know how you operate. They've been riding around on 2 wheels. You're a whole electric vehicle tapped into the cosmos, but yet they're going to stop you. Nonsense. All right. The next card I'm going to clarify. Oh, 2 came out. Sorry, y'all. All right. So the next card I'm going to clarify is they want to see you do good, but never better than them. Everybody's got an entity nowadays. So remember I said the death magic or the death ritual? Now it says the evil entity has left, returned to sender, breaking your cursed black magic field. So somebody was so jealous that you finally got to a place of peace that they decide to start doing magic. They decide to start doing rituals. And it was only because you were doing better than them. And when you were doing better than me, I feel small. I feel less than. I feel like I'm not capable. I feel like I have no worth. I feel like I have no value. I feel like those are personal problems. Anyway, and the fact that the black magic or the entity returning comes out with indulgence, this is somebody that could have done this again. I mean, they could have lived in the energy of sending some type of magic. But they're veiled. So this is somebody who's doing it behind the scenes. This is somebody who comes up as a friend, but behind the scenes, like as soon as y'all are separate, like they're cursing everything you told them. The next card I'm going to pull is going to clarify, if someone's absence brings you peace, you didn't lose anything. So you may have accepted, in order to have peace in my life, like I can't rock with you, right? Even if you didn't overtly understand who this person was, you can read energy well enough to understand, like, when I'm with you, I feel scattered. My heart beats, I get clammy, not because you're fearful, but just because your body is telling you, yeah. Listen, our body has a way of speaking to us about people, and we got to respect it. We got to listen to it, and we have to honor what it is revealing. Your body is going to tell you everything you need to know about somebody. Your stomach will start moving weird. You'll start talking faster. Your heart rate will pick up. You'll be less likely to tell everything. You'll start trying to keep words in your mouth. It's like you'll know. And so this is somebody that you knew compromised your peace. And as soon as you stopped messing with them, you were like, I ain't lose nothing. I actually feel better. Exactly. This says take a break, withdraw, and evaluate. Reflect, gain a new perspective, and pause. You did all of that. You either did that because you recognize when I'm with this person, I feel a level of regret or grief or anxiety, or it's this person that is feeling regret, grief, and anxiety that you don't fuck with them anymore. All right, the next card I'm going to clarify from this deck. Listen, that could have also have been a reason why they were trying to strategize. Once you cut this person off and you stop telling them your business, you don't tell them your moves, they don't know what you're doing or where you're going, they just throw death and they just try to kill everything. They try to kill it all. The last card from this deck I'm going to clarify. It says, sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together. Now, see, this is the part. I don't get that this was a karmic connection. It totally could have been a karmic connection, but I see that somebody was trying to bind you to something, like a part of their plan. It's like, listen, if you don't fuck with me, I'm going to get you to fuck with somebody that I do fuck with. That way I always know what you're doing. Like, that's what I see here. It was almost like there was another level to the plan beyond hating you, beyond being jealous, beyond death magic. It's like there was another layer to bind you to something or someone that was lesser in order to make them feel better. This is, yep. Moving right along. All right, so sometimes the heart of the lotus flower. Listen, this person could have put you through a lot of shit. You know, the lotus flower, it talks about the environment that the flower growing in, it being really muddy and murky. And if you look at the condition of the environment that these beautiful flowers come out of, you're like, well, how the hell did you come out of this? This is somebody who could have created a very nasty, energetic environment around you. Hence the death magic and the black magic, the plans back. First of all, listen, we have, it's all about to backfire, karma, backlash. Death magic. The death magic comes out with libation, which is like a form of a ritual. We've got the entity returning. So listen, look at all that damn energy. And in 2 different decks, I have the energy of death. This is a lot of death. But you start the reading with a new beginning. And so this death is not yours. But I feel like this is what was projected onto you by somebody who had just been already carrying the energy of death. Okay. So here you are, a lotus flower. So it's almost like there's nothing that they could bind your heart to that would stop you from growing to be as beautiful as you are, right? This is somebody, you have the heart of a lotus flower. And so if this is a person that broke your heart again and again, or put you in scenarios or situations again and again to break you, you're a fucking lotus flower. It didn't matter, right? And so like their jealousy is going to continue. Nothing can stop your story. All right. So the final intuitive Kev. I'm going to use Kipperish to clarify the final deck, the final row. So the first card I'll clarify is courage. Courage, right? And this is what the bullying was for. This is why you went through the emotional bullying, so that you would stop having the courage to go from point A to point B. Don't you see me not trying? Don't you see me being content, not doing anything, not growing, not expanding? Why can't you just be content? Right? Every time you move, I get jealous. Why are you making me jealous? Like crazy. That's the energy I'm getting. Right? Sick. And then got a nerve to talk about veiled. You know who this person was. You can't hide that much hate. You can't hide this type of energy. It's never going to. Your body will tell you everything you need to know. You'll stop telling this person your business. You'll start hiding stuff. That is your body recognizing you are not a safe space. I'm not going to help you attack me. The more I tell you, the easier it is for you to attack me. Why would I help you? You have to attack me in the dark. All right, 2 cards came out, y'all. I'm still about to clarify courage. So courthouse. So you know what? This is giving me not necessarily physical court. I'll have to check. Y'all, there's a moth on the screen. You can't see it, but I can. Okay. Okay. So courthouse comes out. I'm really thinking that this is spiritual court. I'll see whatever the next card is that comes out. But this is coming out with plans backfiring. So I don't know how far this person went in order to stop you from progressing and changing your life. But we have courthouse. I feel like this person is dealing with repercussions, but this could be spiritual because it seems like most of their attacks were spiritual. We'll get to the end, attempting to bind you to a karmic connection. The next card I'm going to clarify with this deck is past life. So rich guy, courthouse rich guy. Hold on here. Death. Past life rich guy. Past life rich guy. I'm going to pull another one. I don't know who the... Okay. Oh, so listen. I got this. So your new beginning is going to include, or it will include, people who are this is what I mean. This is why they were trying to... Remember I said there was another layer to the plan binding you to a karmic connection? Listen, if you're trapped in some low budget karmic connection, being able to connect with people of wealth, not always monetary, but like spiritual wealth and emotional intelligence. I feel like that is one of the richest forms of wealth there is, emotional intelligence. But this is like somebody understanding that if you tap into your past life If you tap into this ancient wisdom and you change your life, if you're no longer afraid, if all the bullying that we've done is not enough to suppress you and keep you down from believing in your own power, then we already understand what's going to open up for you. Now, because you have past life with this person, this is somebody that could have a little more knowledge and understanding about your relationship dynamics, but they can also understand that you have a certain calling. And if you reach a certain point, your calling is going to afford you certain gifts. Some of these gifts could be relationships with like high-powered people, which is why it is so important to get you to be bound to lesser and lower versions of people so that you were unfit for the people that you were truly supposed to be paired and partner with. So the next card that I pull is coming out on top of veiled. The thing that was veiled is that this person didn't want you to know. Veiled. So all right, so now I'm getting a little, same story, but not only did they not want you to do better, but this is somebody who knew something about you. I think this is somebody this is why I say they had to be in your life for a while. This is somebody who knew that you had some type of divinity, which is why the worst thing you could have possibly have done was to tap into ancient wisdom, was to start learning. When I say ancient wisdom, it's ancient to you consciously, but your soul is like, go pick that shit up. We used to read that all the time. We know all about this, right? This is somebody that never wanted you to follow the wisdom of your own soul, because if you tap into your soul's wisdom, you're untouchable, right? It's almost like if you pick up on the things that your soul is carrying, like all of a sudden you're walking around with your halo. These are people who could have knew that you had a calling. They knew that you had some type of divine gifts. And they bullied you so that you never had your own power. You didn't have your power. You didn't use your own power to believe in self, but you also didn't think that you were powerful enough to create a new beginning in your own life. So these are people who could have made you feel flawed, made you feel like you're not enough. You can't do it by yourself. You'll need this and this and this in order to get where you want to go. Like that type of thing, knowing all the while that you are a force to be reckoned with in the divine. All right, the next card I'm going to clarify is trust. Now, this is coming out with the fact that you had to trust yourself. This may not have been easy to walk away from this person. Again, if this was a long connection that you've had in your life, walking away from them may have been very hard, but you had to trust yourself. You had to accept, why am I always feeling nasty when I'm in your energy, right? I felt like I was at peace. I get around you and now I feel like I got to go take a bath. I don't want you to touch me. I don't want you to talk to me. Like, why do I feel that way? So you got to trust it. You got to accept it. You got to honor it. But then you got to walk away. So the card I'm going to clarify right now is trust. I also feel like these are people or a person that didn't want you to trust yourself. So we have community. So when you stepped back, when you withdrew, when you started to evaluate and be like looking at people different or kind of assessing people with a different set of eyes, I'm going to pull again. Remember I said this Queen of Pentacles was a part of a friendship or a network. So either this is an entire community that is going to be impacted by the fact that they no longer have access to your energy, or yes. So this is a community. This is not a person that worked by themselves. So I talked about this Queen of Pentacles being a part of a connection or a team or a network. I feel like this is a group who understood something about you. You had a calling, you had an anointing, you had a gift, you had something that would have given you a new life, right? And it was all in your own power. It was all in your own power. And so think about the way you were raised. Think about the way you were groomed. It's almost like, I always like to use numbers. It's like them knowing you're a 10, but they raise you like you're a 6. And the goal is for you to never figure out you're a 10. You're only supposed to believe that you're a 6. And so you could have pulled back from this person. You could have pulled back from a community because you recognize that why is my peace being drained when I'm around you? Why is my spirit unsettled? Why does something feel, And then the final card that comes out on top of death is work, labor, and efforts. And so listen, I feel like there were different levels to this plan. Maybe it all began with the bullying, right? The emotional bullying in order to take away your courage. Well, then we got the energy of like you being fit for this past life rich guy. But them doing a level of death magic. So you could have crossed paths with somebody that was equally yoked, but death magic could have ended a specific connection because that would have been like your link. Like this person could have been your plug, right? So then they do death magic, and at some point it's like they indulge in the fact that they have ended something for you, but then you recognize something's off. So then you just pull your energy back completely. You stop talking, you stop telling them, you stop sharing everything. And so now it looks like, well, then they try to strategize. Then they try to strategize against you because they don't have access to you. So the only way to have access to what you're doing is to bind you to some type of karmic connection. This is a lot of jealousy. This is a lot of hate. But this is also people knowing something about you before you recognize it about yourself. But you had to trust yourself when you pulled away from this group, this community, but specifically this person. You know how sometimes we talk about a handler? Maybe this person could have been the handler, somebody close enough to you that would have had a long-standing relationship with you in your life. You know what I mean? Somebody who would have been able to monitor you, watch you, make sure that you always stay a 6 and never rise to a 10. But then you tap into the ancient wisdom. You're like, oh my God, I'm a 7. Wait, I'm an 8. I'm a 9. I'm a 10, right? And then as soon as you recognize you're a 10, you're like, oh God, look at you 4s around here. And then you start cutting people off. And so they're like, oh, okay, we'll just start binding you to connections, right? We'll start putting you into contracts with people so that we can still monitor you, so that we can impact your wealth, so that we can bring death to everything that you have achieved, your work, your labor, and your efforts. It's like nobody wanted you to work. Nobody wanted you to use your own power in order to get your own resources. Nobody wanted that because they knew what you were capable of. Okay, I love y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.